Hi girls, welcome back. My name is JalinnaGlam. If it's your first time here, nice to meet you. We're going to be doing my go-to base today. This is going to be a detailed breakdown of how I do my go-to base for most of my looks. It's not an everyday. It does take a little bit longer than my everyday look. But it is a great base, and if you need it to stay all night, this is the tutorial for you. Throughout the video, I'll be detailing what products I'm using and what I like, what I don't like so much. I'm really excited about today's video. I have done a in-depth foundation routine 7 years ago, and it was chaotic. Looking back on it, this is definitely my updated, a lot more blended foundation routine. And if you guys want to see me recreating my old foundation routine, just let me know if you guys want to see that. I think it'd be really funny. Okay guys, so we're gonna get right into it. So we're gonna get started. I want it to be super zoomed in so you guys can see how everything is going on, how everything's looking. Yes, we have 4 clips in the hair and it's necessary. But let's get right into it. We're gonna start with brows. I am gonna be using the Anastasia Brow Freeze. I'll be honest, not my favorite product, but until I find a better one, fingers crossed next video, I will definitely put you guys on. So you're just going to sweep up your eyebrows. Let that dry down a little, do the other one. Alright, so we're gonna sweep it. I have a very odd brow. This one's a little bit better. This one I can pretty much brush into exactly how I want it to look for the most part. But very different. Might not even be sisters. We're gonna go straight into the Anastasia Dip Brow now. I use dark brown. And I do that thin line under the brows. It makes it a lot easier once you've brushed it up already. Make sure you're pinching off your brush so that you're getting a little bit more control as to how thin it is and how those strokes are going on. But I don't have that much brows. I'm gonna go ahead and brush. In your makeup kit, you should always have your concealer that basically matches your skin color and the other one that brightens, which is of course lighter. So I mix those two, and that is usually what I use for things like under my brow to carve it out. Now I'm going to use my Milk Hydro Primer. I am looking to get another primer just to mix it up. I've been using this one for about a year, so I just want to harp on the fact that if you do not have all of these products, your product should still work. A lot of the time it's about technique and just matching to your skin color. And then I just put on a little bit more in the areas that I feel need it the most. So we're back under those eyes. I did forget to go over my eyes, so we're gonna do that too. So I went under my eyes again, I went in my laugh lines again. Then I'm going to be mixing 2 foundations. So I'm going to be mixing my Fenty Beauty and my Pat McGrath. This is in the shade Medium Deep 23, my Pat McGrath. And my Pro Filter foundation, this is super old, this is my 390. Alright, now I have a boatload of foundation. I'm just going to scoop that off, put it on my face like this. I use this super dense kabuki brush and I just pat it all in. You can literally go to my tutorials from 7 years ago and see that I've always been dabbing in with a dense brush. It just works so much better than swiping on foundation. So before I put any of this on, before I put on my primer, I did put on my sunscreen and I put on 2 different moisturizers. So the base was hydrated, and then here I'm using a medium buildable coverage foundation, which is the Pat McGrath, and a matte one, which if you've ever tried the Pro Filter, you know it's not lightweight at all. But mixing the two for some reason gives this like beautiful consistency. I'm going to be using the Born This Way concealer. And this is closer to my skin tone. This is the Mocha. What I do, carve that out a little, not too much. Chin, like to make that look longer. Definitely need to be carving out the eye out here. And then we're going to do a little bit of that inner corner. A lot of this I've already been doing, but I gotta give credit to Uche. I looked at her, something that she put on TikTok. On TikTok, she said that she would double up on her products a lot. And I was like, that's a good idea. I'm gonna mix more of my products. I was already mixing foundations, but concealers on top of each other, I was just building on the same one. So it's very smart to be blending these different concealers. And now I'm going in with my Huda Beauty Tantour. This is Ran Through, almost done, but I have this in medium. And I'm using an angled brush to apply on my face. So I'm just dabbing in there. And then we gotta contour, babe. My finger right here. And I'm gonna contour my jawline. I don't always do my forehead, but just because this wig is a little bit janky, I feel like the dimension might help me out here. I've been doing my own wigs, and guys, I'm having a lot of regrets. I'm literally actively looking for someone to start doing my hair out here in Houston because it's rough. Alright, so now I'm using a more feathered brush with that same contour, and I just go into my upper lid and I drag all the way out. So yeah, upper brow, drag that out. Love that. Love that. That makes such a difference, like instantly. The same brush, but I pinched it because I can't find a more precise brush right now. I'm carving out my nose. And then I'm highlighting, or I'm contouring around the bulb of my nose. So literally creating a little circle right here. And now going with my Juvia's Place concealer. This is 16. This is my lighter concealer color that's going to pull this all together. Those are eventually going to blend together. Okay, and then I'm going to let this sit for like 2 minutes, and then I'm going to blend it all out. Okay, so I'm going to blend this out. Starting here, just blend this down. And you see it took very little product because so little is so effective. Mind you, I shave my face quite often, so I do find it funny that if it is just kind of attaching to the hair in that area. I'm going to use my concealer brush to be a little bit more precise on this. And then back in with this product. Now we're blending out under the eyes, and you'll see how that all starts to mesh together. This is where you can reinforce the shape of your eye here. So I blended that all out. I put on my liquid blush. So let's go ahead. And this is the She Glam from Shein in Love Cake. This is actually my favorite liquid blush. I do have the Rare Beauty and all those, but this one is my favorite still, just because I haven't really found this shade anywhere else. Like, it's just so like light princessy, which is more my vibe as far as blushes go. Okay, so if you're not satisfied with like how bright your under eye is, just feel free to add a little bit more of that, your lightest concealer right here and right under your eyes. I'm gonna go straight into starting to set this. So I'm gonna use Laura Mercier. I am about to get the one size powder, and so I'll be using that in my next video, and I am super excited to be using that one. I desperately need a change. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with the Laura Mercier. It just definitely doesn't give anything. It just locks in exactly what you already have, which is great. That's what we want from a translucent powder. But I think I'm going to get a colored, maybe like the more yellow tone one from One Size. I'm doing a lighter layer of this powder right now. And so what I like to do is I use my Charlotte Tilbury in Tan, and then I mix that with my setting powder. Those two together, that's a dream team. Okay, and then the bronzer that I'm using, I can't actually show it to you because it is broken in its case, but I am using the Maybelline Bronzer City in 300. So I don't always use a bronzer. I usually don't need to because my liquid contour is really, or my cream contour is so good. I want to show you guys the full effect when I'm doing like a full face. So of course we're just going over those same areas that we already cream contoured with our bronzer. There we go. Just so you can see how it's looking so far. And hopefully with the technique you can tell why I use a feather brush. It's just nicer to blend out, because I used to use more of a flat brush and then I'd have to go in with one anyway. Okay, so we see the nose is like super sculpted. And I'm going to use the orange from my James Charles palette. To you guys, my messy James Charles palette. And I go in with this orange right here. And you watch it go on again. I just love my eyeshadows because it's like I have so many. I have this NARS blush, but I could actually show you how it is in motion. It's great. It really is. But when I'm going softer, I usually don't put this one on because it is more intense. And I'm just going to put another layer of setting powder on. I could brighten this thing up. And I'm bringing the lips back again. I just don't want to scare y'all. I just don't want to scare y'all. What I am going to do is put on some eyeliner. So yes, we're putting this eyeliner on the upper and the lower lash line. This usually doesn't bother me at all, but the jumbo is like really big. Alright, so then we're just going to curl those lashes. My mascara. Again, I use my very cheap Essence Lash Princess. Doesn't go anywhere. That's the one thing I can guarantee you about this. I can't say it's the one that makes my lashes look the longest, but I can tell you that it absolutely goes nowhere and it lasts me long. My next video is most likely going to be a haul of some new products because I've come across some gems. I've been in like Sephora like non-stop. And I've honestly, I'm not wasteful. Like, I don't buy a whole bunch of crap for no reason. I take pictures of stuff, I go research it, and I find stuff I like. And usually in researching those things, I end up finding things I like even better. So yeah, the haul is gonna go crazy. You guys can see what this is doing to my lashes. So you see I'm using the end of the wand to like add the color. So I'm gonna go in with this, my blending brush. Okay, so most people just like sweep. I typically have to go like this. Like I like to beat it in at the same time as I'm doing that sweeping motion. And always, Forever OG Amrezy highlighter. Like I said, don't get caught up in these products. Don't get lost in the sauce, girls. What you have is usually enough. Heavy on the usually, but usually enough. If I tell you to buy something, it's because it truly transformed my makeup. But I think whatever I 100% of the time I will splurge on without really thinking about it is my pressed powders. So like I use the Charlotte Tilbury, my foundations, and my concealers. Everything else you can kind of go budget on. Okay, so this is like a super even base in my opinion. Like there's nothing too dramatic about it. But I am going to use my puff. And going into this palette, controversial maybe. If you like this, stick with this. But sometimes when I want to brighten it up, I'll go between the yellow in this palette and this white. And I'll just pop a little bit under my eye. This also helps with my creasing personally. Okay, you can see it. And I always put a little by my nose because I feel like that's how you make it look the most natural. That's what you need to be matching to. From the sides of your nose and then pull up. Okay. And then our final spray. I'm going to do lips, but this is the final base. So literally all I've done is put on my lip combo, same lip combo from my first video the other day, bringing back 2016 makeup. I'll link it at the end of this video. What I like to call this is like my staying base. Like this is the base that I need to stay on all night. So this is whether I'm doing either like a soft glam or if I'm doing, you know, more of a bold glam. Either way, my face is pretty much going to be the same, nice and blended. Little bit of blush. Obviously I'll do like a deeper contour if I was doing like a deep smoky eye or something, so that, you know, everything's balanced. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I respond every day. And make sure to subscribe. I post every Sunday, and we have many tutorials coming up where I do more product breakdowns, show you guys a little bit more of like my favorite products in each category. But yeah, we have a lot of exciting things coming up. Love you guys.